Here we go, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the July 28th, 2020 meeting of the Pequannock Town Council. Miss Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the township clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with township policy. Information on remote access to the meeting was sent via email to the Suburban Trends, Daily Record, and Record newspapers and posted on the township's website.
All righty, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation. I pledge allegiance,
to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Melissa's not here, so we'll have to say our own.
I'll say it.
Okay.
Actually, I won't. Do you have it?
I do not have it.
Okay, moment of silence.
Moment of silence. Amen. All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. Melissa's having a hard time getting in. All right, clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Florence Lynch is on hold so far. Mr. Cole?
Yes, here.
Mr. Phelan?
Yep.
Mrs. Russell? Here. Mayor Hurd?
I am here. For anyone who hasn't participated in one of our remote meetings, I'm going to ask Mr. Brewer to review the format of this meeting. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you, Mayor. In light of the ongoing global pandemic, the township is hosting this meeting via Zoom to allow for public participation virtually. There are various points in the meeting where the mayor will call for public participation. Those are mostly identified on the agenda, but could also happen at a moment's notice. Should anyone wish to participate in the meeting, please either raise your hand or if you have an issue with that in the chat function, you can indicate a desire to speak and you'll be promoted to be able to participate in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brewer. All right, next on the agenda is presentations. So we have a 2019 audit. Mr. Brewer.
I'm going to promote Ms. Dolan from the Township's auditors to join us. She is a partner with Nisavachi and Company.
Not going to try to say that name.
Oh,
just don't try to spell it.
It's good to be able to say that.
There you are. How are you doing?
Here I am. Here I am. Yes, and it is July, and here I am doing your audit. What a long year this has been for us.
Yes, it has. Well, thank you for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. I hear that we passed and all things are good, so give us the rundown.
We did. I have a quick little rundown for you. Obviously, once again, it was an absolute pleasure to complete the audit. We'd like to thank the township for cooperating with us in our modified remote via hybrid audit that we pulled off. We were on site, fortunately, early in the year for a little bit of time, and then we were in and out, and everything was sent to us electronically that we could do. A few things needed us to be on site. Our staff was safe. They came equipped with their PPE, so we'd like to say thank you very much for getting us through everything. A few financial highlights, lots of good news, as I'd like to say. The current fund balance at the end of the year was about $3.9 million, which is actually an increase of about $1.1 million from when I was here last year. There's three major reasons why that number was so high. Number one, obviously, when you built your 19 budget, you utilized, yes, less fund balance rolling into your own budget. So therefore, that's a portion of it. It's about $700,000. In addition, you had about $200,000 of some additional non-anticipated revenues that came in miscellaneous revenue, some cancellations and some cleanup items. And you also settled some large interfunds, which was about $550,000 that was restricting your fund balance. So when those items got cleared, your fund balance went back to a higher number. Your tax collection rate saw a slight increase from 99.45 to 99.52. So basically you're almost looking at 100% collection. It's fantastic. Your utility fund balances, water increased about $39,000, sewer increased about $125,000. And then I'll get into your solid waste and your recreation both saw decreases. You had a decrease in the fund balance of your solid waste of about 97,000 and in the recreation of about 86,000. So that being said, all in all, you're in really good financial shape. Things look great. A couple things I do want to highlight. Your CFO did a fantastic job in 2019 for you. She was extremely, like I said, prepared for us. She tackled your financial statements. She worked through your budget. She had everything that she needed ready for us. She had great analysis work done for us. And in addition to that, she resolved a lot of your recommendations that have been carrying in a lot of your reports. And so there are 2 small recommendations that are left, which I've spoken at length with Julie that we are going to be resolving. You'll see those resolved probably in 2020, and you're looking at heading all the way to a clean audit. So kudos. The 2 small items is in the area of fixed assets. She's working on it. Her and Holly are working on creating some sort of fixed asset system just so that we have a good tracking. And then the other one is a timing of purchase orders. So Julie and I have spent some extensive time going through how she's going to correct those situations, basically writing some better operating procedures, working with Adam and writing some procedures. That way you're not caught up in following specifics. We're going to do some specifics by department so that this recommendation can go away. Like I said, it was a fantastic clean audit. You saw a lot of cleanup. I see again tonight, there's some even more cancellations coming through. That's all the cleanup stuff that we've been seeing come through, and it's a well done report and you were in great shape. So I'm available if anyone has any questions.
We're in great shape for 2019. Adam, how are we looking for 2020?
Still too early to tell. Construction revenue kicked back up. Obviously, court remains down. Fees and permits are also down. So we're looking till September, late September, to really try to see if we're going to hit certain numbers and make a determination if we're going to proceed with the second capital ordinance.
And again, just for everybody in Zoom land, as far as the audit goes, Valerie, you are not an employee of the township. You are literally a third party who is looking over our books to make sure that we're being true and honest and everything is what it's supposed to be. That is correct, right?
That is correct. I am an independent eyes on your set of books.
Okay. Council, anybody else have any questions? No? Adam, is there anything else that we did not articulate as far as the audit goes?
No, I'd like to thank Ms. Dolan and her team. I think they did a good job. The kudos to the finance staff, especially Julie leading it is well deserved. I also want to thank the rest of the senior staff and everybody who's been involved in trying to resolve some of the things that have existed, because it's a team effort, and everybody from someone making the initial request for quotation to the CFO and myself approving requisitions. Everybody's working hard to try to do things in a compliant manner.
Great job. We have things running nice and smooth. Valerie, I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate you going over the books. That is awesome. Make sure you tell Julie kudos. We really appreciate having her around, and she's doing a great job.
Did our bond rating change, Adam? And does this help our rating?
The bond rating didn't change. I have as a goal to increase our bond rating to the next level up, which would be just below AAA. We're not a large enough community really to hit the AAA, but I think we certainly do have a bump up in our near future. A lot of that has to do with maintaining fund balance and ensuring that projects are moving forward. And the analysis that the rating agencies do is a little bit different than we do. So we see some things as positives that they may not. So you have to angle yourself properly to get that bump.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Is that Julie? Is she online? Is that our Julie that's online as an attendee?
That is our chief financial officer.
I just want to give a shout out to Julie and say thank you for all your hard work, and Valerie, you too. Great job.
Yes, everyone, great job.
Great. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see, moving right along. Reports from volunteers. At this time, if there's any reports or comments from any volunteers serving our community, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Mr. Brewer.
I do not see any hands raised, Mr. Mayor.
All right, so seeing none, we're going to move on to public comment. Next on the agenda is public comments. This public comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. Hello, Melissa, how are you?
Hi,
That's okay. Technical difficulties. The public comment period will be limited for a total of 30 minutes. An additional period for public comment is reserved later in the meeting. Individuals are requested to limit their questions and comments to 3 minutes. If anyone wishes to address the council, please raise your hand, wait to be recognized, and provide your name and address for the record. Mr. Brewer.
Mr. Mayor, there are no hands raised at this time.
Okay, well, there'll be a second area that you can do public comment. So seeing no one, we're going to move on to the manager's report. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you, sir. I have a couple of things, or a few things in my memo and a couple of bonus items. Woodland Lake, as discussed at introduction and prior to that, that ordinance is scheduled for public hearing later this evening. The Pompton River desnagging bid, we opened bids for that, and although 7 people pulled the bids, and we discussed the fact that that was going to happen at the last meeting, just want to update the council and the public that no one bid the project. So I'm in the process of reviewing, what happened and why with the professionals who were associated with the plans. We're working to figure out whether we need to resize it or if there was another issue. We've gotten some preliminary feedback from some people who did pull the bids to try to figure out what the issue is, and we're going to work to try to address that. Some of the issues with public projects can't be changed. We have prevailing wage requirements and other dynamics that the law requires us to have, and that's not something that we can waive. But with respect to making it more palatable or desirable, we're going to do what we can to go back out to bid. I had initially expected to have a discussion scheduled for this evening on the solid waste and recycling collection contracts, but discretion sometimes is the better part of valor, as our friend Falstaff says, and I decided not to have something that was rushed and to have something that is as accurate and effective as possible. One of the challenges associated with the collection contracts in the Township of Pequannock is there's a corresponding impact on a utility rate. So in addition to just analyzing the bids as they came in, that then needs to get integrated into what the utility can bear and what potential increases may be seen depending on certain options taken. So we'll have about a 20 to 25 slide PowerPoint presentation on August 11th for the public. My goal is to have that to the council this week so you have time to review it and prepare yourself with any questions or reach out to me individually should you feel the need well in advance of the 11th. Lastly, or the two bonus items, we have a new electronics recycling program available at the DPW yard. There is a posting on the township's website that went out about it. We've already got some really positive feedback. So if anybody is interested, we do have a container for electronics recycling. There are specific lists of allowable and not allowable items on the township's website. Residents are invited from 7:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. to bring televisions and other things that are acceptable to the DPW yard to put in that container, and it is free of charge.
Excellent.
And then lastly, the 2020 road resurfacing program, we got notification from the Morris County Cooperative Pricing Council vendor that we're using for this year's program that they're going to begin milling on August 3rd. So again, there's a posting on the township's website from today. Those streets that are included, which are portions of Mandeville Avenue between the Boulevard and West Parkway, Cameron Avenue, Pomona Avenue, and the 3 cul-de-sacs off Alexander Avenue. Those are Michael Court, Hannah Court, and Abbey Lane. Milling will begin on August 3rd. Paving will begin on August 10th. That is my report. If there's any questions, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brewer. Yeah, the electronics recycling is, that's a great thing to do because it's such a pain to get rid of electronics nowadays.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. All right, let's see. Next on the agenda, public hearing on ordinance number 2020-09. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance number 2020-09 is an ordinance amending chapter 129 of the Code of the Township of Pequannock and clarifying badge availability for residents only at Woodland Lake.
All right, are there any comments from the council? And again, we went over this the other day. Is there a motion to open this to a public hearing?
I'll
I'll
make
make
that.
that motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll
Give
second.
you 1 second. All right, Kyle gets it first, Dave gets a second, thank you. If anyone in the audience has questions or comments on this ordinance, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized and identify yourself for the record. Mr. Brewer?
There are no hands raised, and no one has mentioned anything in the chat function, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, thank you, seeing none. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Can I get a
second it.
All righty, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2020-09.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch,
Yes.
Mr. Cole,
Yes.
Mr. Phelan,
Yes.
Mrs. Russell,
Yes.
Mayor Hurd.
All right, next on the agenda is ordinances for introduction. Seeing none, we're going to move on to resolutions. Ms. Marsh?
Beginning with Resolution R 2020-156, canceling unexpended general capital appropriation balances. 2020-157, canceling grant fund balances. R 2020-158, canceling inactive escrow balances. R 2020-159, authorizing release of deposits for construction in a township right-of-way. R 2020-160, authorizing the settlement of a sanitary sewer assessment appeal and the execution of a consent order for final judgments. That's with JC Automotive LLC. Our 2020-161, authorizing purchase of a 2021 Police Interceptor SUV Ford Explorer from designated vendors awarded contracts by the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey Co-op. Our 2020-162, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the July 23rd, 2020 bill list and 2015 FEMA elevation escrow list.
Thank you. Are there any comments on the resolutions from council?
Yeah, Adam, could you explain how we buy police vehicles from an educational co-op?
There are a number of co-ops in the state of New Jersey. This used to be referred to as the Middlesex Educational Regional Co-op. It's changed its name. It is not limited to an educational organization. It's limited to public entities. So even a sewer utility could. So what staff and I will do is we will review the various procurement options, come up with the best possible option, whether it's the Morris County Cooperative Pricing Council or the Educational Services Commission or another one. And that's what we will use to purchase the piece of equipment that we're looking to acquire.
Thank you. It's just kind of odd, but thank you.
So they could have different prices, like the Morris County Co-op could have a different price than this one?
Correct. Or you may have a vendor who has an award through one co-op that they're out of the vehicle you want, so you go to a different one. It's essentially, shopping the best option for that item.
Okay.
With allowable sources.
Did we talk about this vehicle at budget where we talked about a bigger one and then this is the smaller?
This is not through the capital budget. This is through the current fund budget.
Okay.
The police department has 2 or 3 vehicles budgeted in the current fund because traditionally patrol vehicles are ineligible for use of capital funds. You can only buy patrol vehicles through the current fund. This is an SUV, so it could arguably be bought through capital.
Right.
But because we have a fully funded capital program, it's 6 in one, half a dozen the other. The police department was held back from buying 2 vehicles earlier in the year because we were being cautious with our spending. So this is the second vehicle which is being offered.
Okay.
And council needs to approve the acquisition because it exceeds the bid threshold of $45,000, even though it's on a co-op.
So this is in addition to the other one that we discussed at the budget.
Correct. This is in addition to the capital budget. This is a patrol.
And the other one, what kind of vehicle was it? It was a bigger vehicle, correct?
No, I think it was the same one.
I'd have to go back and check. Candidly, I'm not prepared with that answer right now.
Again, this council supports our police department 100%. So
Exactly.
I'm 100% good with this.
I think during the budget, we were talking about
Fire?
Suburban for fire instead of maybe
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
And Adam thought that they needed
That was an expedition, and the issue
Yeah.
was with and stuff in the back, and we budgeted 50% in this year and 50% next year.
Gotcha. Okay.
Fire.
I'm fine with it. Whatever they want, they get.
Bob, can I vote on this or do I need to excuse myself for the police car?
No, you can vote on police cars. It has nothing to do with the employee.
That's good news, Dave.
There you go. Any other questions or comments on this from council?
No.
All right, seeing none, is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2020-156 through 2020-162.
Can
I'll
I get a
second.
second?
Got it.
Roll call?
Mrs. Florence Lynch,
Yes.
Mr. Cole,
Yes.
Mr. Phelan,
Yes.
Mrs. Russell,
Yes.
Mayor Hurd.
Absolutely, yes. Okay, there's nothing on the items for discussion. There are no reports and notices. So moving on to council reports and announcements. Councilwoman Florence Lynch.
Just a couple of things. The Economic Development Committee, they will be meeting tomorrow night at 7:30 via Zoom. However, I already they hadn't met in a while, and Jeff rescheduled the meeting. I had already signed up for there's a public meeting for the bike path that the county is, I don't know if anybody's going on that meeting, but I had registered for that. Is anybody else going on that meeting, Paul?
I should be on it tomorrow at 7 o'clock it starts.
Yeah, so I'm going to go on that, and then I'll join the EDC meeting later if it's still going on. But I already let the chair know that. In addition, yeah, the flood committee, that doesn't meet until next month. I'm trying to think if I had anything else. And yeah, that was it. I just wanted to talk about the public meeting for the bike path and the pedestrian walk. I believe that's on the website. You can still register for that. So if the public wants to go on that, that would be a good meeting call to go on and get an update. Other than that, I really don't have anything. I did, I know I came on the meeting a little bit late. Adam, I don't know if you talked at all about did you talk at all about the Village Road, 90 Village Road?
No, I did not.
Okay. I mean, that's just something if people want to put, you know, bids in, they can still call you and discuss that property. Have you gotten anything on that yet? Or it's all going to be done on the day of the,
And just by way of
okay.
issue, so the Township Council previously directed the sale of a piece of municipal property located in
August,
Road.
right.
It got a little backburnered because of everything going on with COVID and everything else. So we're getting back to those issues. So there's now an auction scheduled for August. It's listed on the township's website.
Right.
And anyone who's interested, who previously expressed interest, has been contacted, and the information is shared with him or her. And you know, anyone else who's interested can follow the direction that is posted, and then ultimately we'll receive bids, and the council will make a decision whether or not to execute the sale.
Right. Yeah, thank you for forwarding that information to us. I'll do what I can to get the word out. I was just curious if you had gotten a lot of inquiries recently on it or not.
I have based on your suggestion, Councilwoman, previously we posted a sign, and as a result of that, I had 9 or 10 people reach out to me, and I think 7 of those people are still interested.
Good.
So
Good.
that information, they do have it all.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, perfect. Next, Councilman Cole. Sorry about that.
I have really nothing to talk about except that, you know, there's a lot of communication about the possibility of rescheduling the shred day that was canceled. I'm 100% for if we can somehow reschedule that, maybe for the fall. Maybe you can maybe somebody can contact the vendor to see if they are available sometime, maybe October. But you know, I think a lot of people appreciate that day, and
Yeah.
I think it's definitely worthwhile. So if we can do it, I think we should do it.
I agree.
I'll circle back to staff and try to get that on the calendar, and when we have a date, I'll share that with the council and the public.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilman Phelan.
I don't have anything.
All right, and Deputy Mayor Russell.
Yes, not a lot to report. The library is open, limited services. Occupancy is open to 2 people at a time. You can be in the library for 30 minutes. Patrons must wear a mask and follow social distancing. And you could also still do contactless pickup. And that's it.
Any idea when they're going to open up more? Do they have a plan to open?
They had decided to postpone the July meeting. They didn't go over with this at the board. That had come out because I 2 people at a time in a library our size. I question that, but hopefully they're going to make progress.
Any idea?
We'll have an August meeting. We don't have a July meeting.
To maybe Adam, maybe this is a question for you. Any idea if they have a structured plan on how they're going to open or open to 50% capacity or whatever it is? Because I believe they were approved to open on the 2nd of July.
I haven't reviewed them opening with staff or anyone else, so I don't have anything to add, unfortunately.
Okay, all righty. Thank you very much. Lastly, again, I don't have that much, but I will talk about tomorrow. Melissa, you were talking about it's the rail trail. So the 29th, there's a 7 o'clock meeting for the rail trail. The phone number is 562-247-8321. Access code is 481-044-686. Or you can just go to morriscounty.gov and get the link on there. It is not a Zoom call. It's just a regular call in that you can listen to what they're talking about. Then I have 2 personal shout outs. My son turned 13 this week. He is officially a teenager. So we have a teenager in the Hurd household. I don't know what to do with that one. And lastly, my cousin Courtney she has turned 21 today. So we're going to go out and celebrate with her. Do you guys remember being 21? Boy, that was a good time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good luck with the teenager, Ryan.
Oh, geez. Yeah. One teenager and then a cousin who is 21. Congratulations there, Courtney Blake. All right, moving on. Public comment. Next on the agenda is public comment. If anybody wishes to address the council, please raise your hand, wait to be recognized, and provide your name and address for the record. Mr. Brewer.
There was a comment issued during the in the chat earlier, and I asked if the individual wanted to post something to do it in the public portion. So if someone wants to speak during the public portion, please indicate that by either saying in the chat that they'd like to be recognized or raising their hand. None is indicated, Mr. Mayor.
As indicated, I do see the question, and I'm probably going to mess up your name. I do apologize, Malik. But Malik, you can contact one of our local real estate associates, like Melissa, Councilwoman Florence Lynch. She has been in real estate forever, and she could probably answer your question directly. So there you go. And hopefully welcoming you to Pequannock sooner than later. All right, moving on. Approval of minutes. There are no minutes to approve. Next on the agenda is closed session discussion. Mr. Uzdek, would you please explain the procedure for holding the closed session?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. When we have live meetings, when it comes time for executive session, we ask the public to clear the meeting room so that the council can go into executive session. Executive session is the period of time where the council discusses matters that have elements of confidentiality to it that prevent us from discussing those things publicly. During our Zoom meetings, what we do is ask folks who have come in from the public to leave the Zoom meeting. We then proceed to have our executive session, and we are not able, after our executive session, to do any more public business. So we'll have an executive session discussion. Afterwards, no further business will be conducted by the council, other than, of course, adjourning the meeting.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R 2020-163, authorizing the Township Council to meet in executive session?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. To discuss 3 contract negotiations, property acquisition, the PV Park concession stand, and the interlocal agreement with Morris County for salting, sanding, and plowing. Mr. Phelan got a first. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. In closed session.
Okay, I'm going to ask all attendees at this time.
Go back into open session. We are back in public session. Mr. Uzdek.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight,
I started my recording. Carol, do you have yours? Sorry, Bob. I didn't want to.
It's okay. Okay. No problem.
Okay.
In executive session tonight, the 3 items that were discussed with the governing body. The first was the decision to continue an interlocal agreement with Morris County. The council directed the township manager to place on a future agenda and a resolution which would authorize such an agreement. Secondly, a property acquisition was discussed. Direction was given to the township manager and township attorney regarding proceeding with that acquisition. Finally, a contract dispute with a vendor at PV Park was presented to the governing body, and the letter from the vendor making a request was presented to the governing body, and direction was given to the township manager regarding the appropriate response to that request. And that was tonight's executive session.
Thank you, sir. All right, there being no further businesses.
Before we go
Yes.
I just want to give a shout out because I just heard that one of Pequannock's graduates from 2009, Alex Helmer, who is now a police officer in Allendale, saved someone's life from choking.
Ooh.
Him and his,
Oh,
him and his
awesome.
partner, they saved the guy
Congratulations.
from choking. So
Hmm.
I just got the message. So congratulations to Alex.
Congratulations, Alex.
Awesome. Way to
Great
go,
job
Alex.
for our boys in blue.
Yep.
All right. Well, if
Now we
that's
can
it,
vote.
if there's no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a
I'll
second?
second it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, meeting adjourned at 7:57:37. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time tonight.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.